Tonight on Balatro Weekly, we dive into the top 5 mistakes beginners make and how to correct them. Also, this holiday season we talk about the gift that keeps on giving and the unique friendship between a pirate and an egg. Do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe to help make our channel grow. Now get a spoon, grab your beans, and let's dive right in. Balatro Weekly starts now.
Hey, Balatro Beanie Weenies, Beans Hambone here, and tonight on the show we're going to go over top mistakes I see beginners make when playing Balatro. Let's dive in. Number 1, not using discards effectively. What are you doing? What are you doing with those discards, pal? You have discards, so you gotta just use them. If you know like your flush is going to win because you have a joker that helps you in scoring that flush, you need to go for it. It's kind of wild to see people struggling, and I look at their discards and they still have 2 or 3 discards left. And, you know, maybe they also have gold cards or blue seals or steel cards that could help them win as well. And I'm just not seeing them use their discards. So if you have discards, use them. Another thing I see with discards is they don't discard their full amount. You can discard up to 5 cards. And I see a lot of people maybe splitting, like maybe they're really ideally should be going for a flush and they want to go for a flush, but maybe they have like 2 kings and they go, oh, maybe I should hold on to these kings and then just discard these 3 cards and hopefully I'll hit my flush. But it's like, no, if you're wanting to go for a flush and you know that that flush will win, discard everything that is not part of that flush and go for it. Another thing is when you're playing, say you're playing pairs, I'll see a lot of new players just play the pair and hit play and they score their pair, but you're able to select up to 5 cards. So you can play your pair and then choose 3 cards that you want to kind of use as like a semi discard. You know, those other cards aren't going to score, but it's a way to discard them to get the cards that you do want, like another winning hand, or maybe more gold cards, or maybe steel or blue seals, stuff like that. So the first tip is use your discards and use them effectively. Number 2 is not saving for interest. I see a lot of new players, they're playing and they're buying everything they see. And maybe they're doing okay for a bit. They're getting jokers that work for them and that's all fine and dandy. But once you are one-shotting your blinds, you know, winning the blind in one hand, and you are not at your interest cap, you should be saving money to get to that interest cap. If you don't know what an interest cap is, when you save money in your bank, you're getting $1 at the end of every round per $5 in your bank. So if you have $5 in your bank, at the end of the round, you're going to earn $1 in interest. If you have $10 in your bank, then you're going to get $2 in interest with every round. And it caps at $5 interest, which means if you have $25 in your bank at the end of a round, you're getting $5 extra. And that's a lot. That's kind of like saying, okay, you're going to get a free reroll every shop. You're going to get a free booster pack every time you get to the shop. $5 is a good amount. And, you know, with certain vouchers like seed money, you're going to raise that interest cap to $50. Money is so important in this game. And the ability to reroll your shop, to be able to open all the packs that you want, and to continually strengthen your build is key in making a winning run. Tip number 3 is not checking the boss blind. I've seen a lot of new players, they're just breezing through the game and all of a sudden they see a boss that just wrecks them. And, you know, I also have suffered the loss of many runs due to this error. And it can be fixed just by making a point that when you enter a new ante, you know, you go down to run info, hit blinds, and check what's coming up. You can see if there's any skip tags you might want to take advantage of. You can see what the boss blind is. You can see what score you need to one shot a blind, see if your hands are doing what they need to be doing, or if you need to be searching for something in particular to strengthen your build. For example, say you're leaning heavily on Supernova. Okay, it's kind of the joker that is saving you and you're building around, and you come across the eye. The boss blind, the eye, every hand played this round must be a different type and not previously played this round. So what that means is if you can't one-shot the eye, your Supernova is going to tank. Say you're playing pairs or something and you play your pair, you're getting all that mult from your Supernova because you've been playing a lot of pairs previously, and now you're gonna have to play something else that you haven't been playing a lot of. Maybe your high card will do it, but a lot of times, leaning heavily on Supernova can get you into a lot of trouble, especially with the eye. There's also like the ox, which if you play a certain hand, it'll set your money to 0, and it's usually the hand you are playing the most of, right? So if you are playing pairs and the ox says, if you play a pair, we'll set the money to 0. If you don't know that going in and you have to play a pair, then that means all your money is just gone. If you see it coming, then you can make the decision like, okay, well, I do have to play a pair to win. I'm going to make sure I spend all my money before going into this boss because I know it's going to go away anyway. Or, okay, the ox is coming up. I don't really want to play a pair. Is there a way I can pivot before I reach this boss where I'm able to still win without playing a pair so I maintain my money? Setting your money to 0 and you have, say, something like bootstraps or the bowl, it can completely destroy your run. Those jokers depend on how much money you have. So if that all goes away, then those 2 jokers become useless. So check your boss blinds. Just make it a habit. Number 3 is not playing your optimal hand. I see a lot of new beginners. They're playing the game. Maybe they have some jokers that do well with 2 pairs, and then they see, oh, I could play a 4 of a kind here, and they check their hands and it's like, oh wow, it's like way more powerful to play 4 of a kind, when in reality they're not considering the jokers that they've added to their build, and actually the 2 pair is way more powerful. And so they play these stronger hands, but they're not stronger because they're not taking into account that their jokers are making their 2 pair way stronger than a 4 of a kind. And so they play this 4 of a kind because it's cool. It's like, oh wow, it's so rare to see a 4 of a kind. I'm definitely going to play that. And they don't realize that they're actually hurting themselves by playing this stronger hand. Just because you see a super strong or rare hand doesn't mean that it's the best one to play. When I'm making a build, I'm thinking about, when I combine my jokers, what's the best hand for me to play? And it's not just what's the best hand for me to play, but what's the most consistent hand I can play that also synergizes with the jokers I'm using. So take that in account. Just because you see a rare hand, doesn't mean that you should be playing it. Mistake number 4, not thinning your deck. I see a lot of new players not thinning their deck. They're not removing cards from their deck. They're actually adding cards from their deck more often. And when you have 52 cards in a deck, or even more, 53, 54, 55, it's much harder to find those cards that you've added if you are not using Hanged Man or Death or jokers like Trading Card to remove cards from your deck. Yeah, maybe they're super powerful cards that you've added to your deck, but since you haven't thinned your deck at all, it's going to be much harder to find those cards. When it comes to deck building games, I'm always thinking about how can I thin my deck so I can get my synergies going. It's called building an engine. How do I build the engine that will win? How do I build an engine for the hands that I'm playing so I can play them consistently and I can get my blue seals and I can get my gold cards And the best way for me to do that is to remove cards that I don't need, so I can easily find those cards that will help me win. Okay, say you open an Arcana pack and you're choosing between, okay, do I want a Hermit or do I want a Hanged Man? A lot of times we go for the Hermit. $20 is a lot. You can do a lot with $20. You can re-roll. But there comes a point where you ask yourself, what do I want my ideal deck to be right now? Yeah, I can get $20, but what do I want to be spending that $20 on? If I have good jokers and I've kind of focused my build towards one hand, then a Hanged Man sometimes is worth more than $20, because by removing cards you're not using, you're able to play that winning hand more consistently. Maybe 8 times out of 10, I'm using Hermit to get $20, because maybe I do need more stronger jokers, or I need to find something different. But a lot of times I go, okay, Hanged Man is so powerful. It might be worth $20 to me at this point to remove cards from my deck, because if I can get my deck thinned down by even 4 to 6 cards, I can guarantee to get my winning hand. Mistake number 5, not replacing weak jokers. Often when I'm looking at my jokers, I ask myself, what's the weakest joker? Maybe a joker has kind of stayed around a little too long, it actually isn't contributing anything, or it's contributing very little. And I think, okay, this joker can go. What do I want to replace this joker with? And it could be something like, even in the short term, an econ joker, or okay, I need to find something with a better flat mole, or this is the time to go for an X-Molt joker. I see a lot of new players hanging on to jokers that are doing nothing to their build, and they're not really considering all these jokers they're re-rolling to replace it. And it's a shame. And it's a big bummer. So, when you have like all your joker slots filled, really start thinking about your jokers and seeing what they're adding. Sometimes you have a chip joker that has been really good to you for the first 3 or 4 antes. And now when you look at your leveled up hands, you realize, okay, that chip joker is really not even a ×2. It's not doing much anymore. This can go. I can replace this easily with this joker, and my score is increasing. Or I'm easily one-shotting my blinds. I can replace this chip joker with this econ joker, and now I'm making more money. I'm still one-shotting my blinds, and I'm able to re-roll to look for an even stronger joker for the upcoming antes. So when playing the game, really ask yourself, what are my weakest jokers? What is this joker doing? Sometimes they don't realize when that joker has kind of played its part, when it's fallen off and you need to replace it with something stronger. And there are times when it's a little scary, because you might buy a joker that's like the Constellation, it's an X-Molt joker. It can be really powerful, but when you first buy the Constellation joker, it's not doing anything to you, because you got to play planet cards to level it up. So you go, okay, I want to buy this, but I'm going to be weaker for the next couple rounds until I can power it up. Am I able to do that? Am I able to survive until I get this Constellation online? These are things you need to consider. So a lot of times I'm checking my run info, I'm looking at my hands and going, oh wow, I have leveled up my full house to the point where this flat molt joker isn't doing much. It's doing very little, and I think I can survive by selling it, getting Constellation, and surviving a couple rounds until I get Constellation online. So always kind of be keeping in mind what your jokers are doing, if they've fallen off, if they're not adding anything to your build, and pivoting and getting a joker that is working for you. For our next story, we're going to talk about an egg. When you have an egg, at the end of each round, it increases its value by $3. You go, what's the deal with egg? it's not, I can't use the $3 right now. What's the point? Egg can be really powerful because even after a couple rounds, if you find a temperance card, that temperance card is going to be valuable. It's taking into account all the sell values of all your jokers and giving it to you as money. So very quickly with an egg in your arsenal, temperance cards become very powerful. Same with gift card. Gift card increases the value of all your jokers by $1. That allows your temperance cards to become very valuable, making the egg and gift card pretty valuable econ jokers. What's cool about egg is its synergy with Swashbuckler. Swashbuckler takes into account all the sell value of your joker cards and turns it into molt. Well, if you have an egg that is increasing by $3 each round, then your Swashbuckler is increasing by 3 molt each round. So having like a really powerful egg and finding Swashbuckler can be amazing. You just have to be careful. Don't sell that egg. If you sell that egg, that Swashbuckler is going to become pretty useless. So a lot of times I will be selling the Swashbuckler, knowing that it doesn't make sense to make room, by selling the egg, because now Swashbuckler is going to become way less powerful. I mean, Swashbuckler works with gift card as well. So Swashbuckler can be really powerful if you have a gift card or egg. Another synergy with egg that I really love is Ceremonial Dagger. Ceremonial Dagger destroys the card on the right and times the sell value by 2 and adds it as molt. If you have an egg that has, $30 on it and you have the Ceremonial Dagger, when that Ceremonial Dagger destroys the egg, it's going to get 60 molt from it. I mean, that's huge. So if you're at that point where you're like, I need molt, I don't need money, I need to power this thing up and power it up fast, sacrifice the egg with the Ceremonial Dagger and you got 60 molt. The same thing with gift card. It's doing the same thing. Ceremonial Dagger and gift card can be really powerful, especially if you get a gift card early and you're increasing the value of those early jokers by a lot, and now you are needing to sell them off to get more powerful jokers, and you have a Ceremonial Dagger. Sacrificing those jokers to the dagger is amazing and can be really powerful. So if you're confused about gift card, if you're confused about egg, just understand there are certain synergies that really make it powerful. They are really great econ jokers, because like the egg and gift card make temperance way more powerful. And then there is the point, when you do sell the egg, that you're getting a ton of money right away. That's another way, so I think the egg is a pretty powerful econ joker if used correctly. Our final story tonight is you.
Yeah!
You. I just wanted to thank you guys for subscribing, for liking my videos, for commenting. I've really enjoyed my video channel journey so far. I just hit a milestone of 2,000 subscribers, which for a little channel like mine, it means a lot to me. I feel thankful to be a part of your Balatro journey, and I'm excited to see what's next. So that's it for Balatro Weekly. If you haven't, like and subscribe. Leave a comment on anything you want me to discuss, certain joker synergy, certain type of tips. You have a certain question that wants answered, leave it in the comments. I will definitely see them, I'll respond to them, and I may include them in future episodes. So thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Beans Hambone signing out.
Beans.